What is up, Squared Nation? Welcome back to No Counters, No Combos. I know normally we do battle chambers and stuff on Mondays, but I just want to talk about something completely different. Disclaimer, obviously we had a very huge weekend just for Dragon Ball in general with the Battle Hour event over the weekend. We also had a PPG Regional Invitational, which was a lot of players turning out for that. So it just seems to be like a lot of buzz about Dragon Ball in the air recently, especially if you're following the IP, if you play the games, if you're into it, there's a lot of buzz going on right now. But what I want to talk about today is over the weekend in the Battle Hour, they mentioned that they were going to start revealing some of the set 13 cards. And we did get some of the leaders, we did get some of the, the images and the trailers and stuff. But today they actually went ahead and revealed one of, if not, probably number two. The second most exciting thing for me out of set 13, which is going to be the SS2 Gohan stuff from the Bojack era, right? So we're getting a new Gohan leader, if you're unaware. He's a blue leader, which is great. And we're getting some archetype-specific stuff that we're going to go over today. And I'm super excited because I like how synergistic it is within the archetype. I know I've mentioned it, a couple times before on this channel. I really do like playing archetype-specific stuff. I know that, good stuff decks are great and everything like that. And, obviously there's a special place for those types of decks, in this game. But as we move more and more into bigger and better, sized card pools, you can see the shift that Bandai is making into more archetype-specific stuff, especially with how certain cards are worded. Granted, there might be powerhouse cards in specific archetypes that can be used in generic, color-specific decks, but for the most part, this Gohan stuff that we're going to go over today is mainly going to be used within its own specific archetype, and I could not be more excited for, it to be coming out. Gohan's getting some love in set 13, and so let's dive right into it. So the first thing I want to talk about is the leader. We have Sun Gohan. He's a 10k blue leader on the front. Auto, when this card attacks, you may add one mono blue card from your energy to your hand. If you do, choose up to one mono blue battle card in your hand and place it in your energy. So kind of similar to how the Ultimate Box SS Blue Vegeta was with the energy manipulation. The good thing about swapping the energy is that it does come in active mode, so it's kind of similar to that Zeno super combo that we had from set 10, just being able to charge something and pick it back up later if you want to use it later, so you can charge your late drops, not have to worry about, leaving them in charge and not being able to get them back. So you don't have to max out 4 of if it's like a 1-cost 10k combo just for like consistency purposes. So that's really nice. Then he has a secondary auto. When a blue skillless battle card is played from your energy, you may flip this card over. If you do, draw 2 cards, then add cards from your life to your hand until you have 6 life left. So similar to set 12 Whis. Obviously, secondary awakening conditions are always really good, especially if you can pull them off a lot earlier. You can awaken with 8 life. It's essentially draw 4, which is huge on turn 2 if you can do it possibly on turn 2. You're getting 4 extra cards, and that's what makes, secondary awakening conditions very nice, because if you're getting aggro down early, you don't have to worry about that secondary awakening condition. But if you're playing more of a stall mid-range strategy, you can go ahead and activate that skill so that you're not, caught dead in the water. And then, of course, his awaken skill is when your life is at 4 or less, you may draw 2 and flip this card over. So we're seeing more of a shift now into draw leaders as opposed to untap leaders, simply because of the game's philosophy of energy efficiency. I use set 12 Whis as a perfect example. That deck is so energy efficient that it does not need to untap 2 energy. You can say the same thing for skillless Gohan being a draw 2 leader. You do everything for such little energy, is so efficient that you don't necessarily have to untap when you awaken. Just drawing more cards and getting more, hand advantage over your opponent is obviously, going to help you try to win the game later on. So it's nice seeing that shift back and forth between untap 2, draw 2. I think the sweet spot is untap 1, draw 1. That's just my opinion. But, untap 2, draw 2, it's nice seeing that shift. And then when we awaken into SS2 Gohan, push to the brink. He's a 15k leader. Auto, when this card attacks, you can draw 1 card. Then you may add one of your mono blue energy to your hand. If you do, choose up to one of your mono blue battle cards in your hand and place it in your energy. So again, with that energy manipulation, you're obviously going to be playing a mono blue strategy because this deck is, specifying mono blue, but it's also going to be bouncing cards back and forth to where you might not need any vanillas in your hand. You can charge them, and then you could probably get skills later on from those vanillas being charged. Activate battle once per turn. Choose one of your blue skillless Saiyan cards with an energy cost of 2 or less, and it gets 5,000 power for the battle. So that's activate battle once per turn. So offensively, it's going to be great because you're going to be swinging with a 25k 2-drop or a 15k 1-drop. But defensively, if your opponent wants to try and clear your board, swinging into a 20k, they combo up, you can activate battle, give it 5k, that kind of saves you without comboing, and it just kind of, your opponent kind of wasted a little bit of cards to try to clear your board if they're fighting for board control. So it's a nice, nifty little interaction. Activate battle is just very powerful because you can do it on either player's turn, and it happens, defensively, it happens after your opponent's combo step. So they combo, they do everything they have to do, then you can go ahead and activate battle. And then offensively, it happens on your, during your combo step. So there's a lot of nifty little, intricacies when it comes to activate battle skills. I just think it's a very good, window for activating skills. Just makes it more strategic. So the leader itself is really good. It has that, that energy manipulation strategy. It can awaken early. It's a 15k leader on the back. Obviously attack, draw card. So you're getting advantages there, and it's just a decent, blue leader. But I think the key with this specific deck is going to be the support that we get with the archetype specific battle cards, which we're going to go over right here. So the first card I want to talk about, that's one of the battle cards that was revealed, is Krillin Energy Fortification. He's a 1-drop 4k attacker, 0 cost 5k combo, auto. When this card is played, look at up to 5 cards from the top of your deck, add up to 1 blue Earthling card with an energy cost of 3 or less, or up to 1 blue Unison card with a specified cost of 1 among them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. So that's really good because you'll be able to get your vanillas that you can use with your leader. But the interesting thing to me is the fact that it can search a one specified cost blue Unison, which, if my memory serves me correctly, I don't think we have any right now in the game. Obviously, green has Piccolo or not Piccolo, but it has technically Piccolo, but it has Demigra. I don't think blue has a 1 specified cost Unison. So the fact that we're getting one, that just kind of shows me that we're probably going to be getting one in set 13, which is going to be really interesting because obviously blue has the best counterplay in God Sealing technique. So being able to, if the 1-drop Unison is a +1, turning on your God Sealings turn 1 is insane. Just stopping your opponent from doing anything early and get the engine rolling is going to be huge. So it's going to be interesting to see if we do get when we get more reveals, if any of those reveals are going to be a 1 specified cost blue Unison. But yeah, I mean, scrying for top X and looking for cards is always really good in certain decks, especially ones that are specific with what they need to charge or what they need to play to further their strategy. He has another auto 1 blue. If your leader card is a blue Son Gohan Childhood, when this card is placed in your energy from your hand, you may play 1 blue skillless card with energy cost of 2 from your energy. If you do, place the top card of your deck in your energy in rest mode. So I'm pretty sure it doesn't need to be put in your energy by a skill. You could probably just go ahead and charge it, tap 1, and then do it like turn 2. Like if you go ahead and turn 1, you charge a skillless, and then turn 2, you charge your Krillin. You could then charge the Krillin, tap, play the skillless, and then replace it with the top card of your energy. So you're playing a 2-drop essentially for 1. Which is probably going to be a nifty interaction. But then again, you do have that secondary awakening condition with your leader where you'll go ahead and awaken when you do that. So turn 2, awaken, draw 4 cards essentially. If you haven't taken any damage, turn 1, you go from 8 to 6 or 7 to 6. You're drawing 3 to 4 cards that awakening turn, and you still have energy open for defense, and you're playing blue, so you're going to have beans and stuff. It seems to be very you know, I don't want to say linear, but it seems to be like there's going to be certain things that you want to do for like strategy A, and then you could probably pivot into strategy B if you don't get your pieces properly. So I like this card a lot. I think it's really nice. Being able to have a card that you are going to want to specifically charge is great, because charging is one of the more difficult things to do in the Dragon Ball Super card game. The next card we're going to be talking about is this 2-drop Vanilla Super Saiyan Trunks. He's just, your average 2-drop Vanilla 20k, but he's a Saiyan Earthling, so he does get searched off of Krillin, and obviously that's going to go ahead and work with your specific charging when it comes to the dex mechanics with the leader and the Krillin being able to play him from your energy. So obviously, and the artwork is just super sick. Like, I feel like Bandai really stepped up their artwork here in set 13. This Super Saiyan Trunks looks phenomenal. I'm definitely going to be hunting for foils, just because, I gotta rep the boy. Gohan's my boy. I gotta make sure the whole deck is foiled out. But yeah, generic 2-drop 20k vanilla that you're gonna be using with the archetype. It's nice that you got a Trunks, because obviously Trunks was a big part of the BoJack movie before he went back to the future to go ahead and save his timeline from the androids. Next card we're talking about is another Trunks card. It's a 4-drop Trunks Unbelievable Might. This is the SR, one of the SRs for the archetype. He's a 4-drop, 0-cost, 5k combo, 19k attacker. He's a dual attack blocker, so that's really good. You'll be able to attack offensively, restand him, and then have him block for 19k for defense. Auto, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards or energy cost of 7 or less and place it at the bottom of its owner's deck. That's actually huge, because you're playing a 4-drop that essentially could get rid of a 7 or less, obviously if it doesn't have barrier, and putting it at the bottom of the deck. So spot removal, obviously if you're paying 4 energy for it, it's a lot, but if you're getting rid of a huge boss monster, anything that you can pay less to get rid of something that costs more is always going to be good. So you're paying 4 to get rid of a 7 or less. That's huge. I think that's really good in my opinion. But he also has an activate main for 2 blue. If your leader is a mono blue, if your leader card is mono blue and you choose one of your opponent's, and you choose one of your blue skillless cards with an energy cost of 2 and return to its owner's hand, you can play this card from your hand. So that's really good. So obviously you can go ahead and tap 2. You can you swing with your 2-drop. Unless you're playing against green, you don't swing with it. You swing with your 2-drop. You pay 2, you bounce it back to your hand, you play the Trunks, you bounce something that's 7 or less to the bottom of their deck. Now you just played a 19k dual attack blocker for 2 energy. That's just a lot of value. So like I said, the energy efficiency is there. Like, these cards, yeah, their printed cost is obviously higher, but they have a secondary effect that allows you to play them for cheaper when you're playing a specific strategy. So like I said, like the good stuff decks, obviously this isn't restricting you to a Gohan leader. It just says mono blue leader, but you will have to have skillless. So you could play this with the Xeno Janemba chain, which is definitely something to experiment with, in my opinion. If you want to do that, just to be able to bounce your vanillas back to your hand or whatnot, if that's what you need to do. But having cards that can be used in good stuff decks and in also archetype specific decks is really nice, and versatile, because I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to get this card. The artwork again is phenomenal. It's a Trunks, it's a fan favorite card, and he's really good. 19k dual attack blocker is nothing to scoff at. Next card we're going to go over is Son Gohan Unbelievable Might. This is one of the common cards in the archetype. He's a 4-cost battle card, 0-cost 5k combo, 15k attacker. He's also a blocker. Auto, when this card is played, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less, ignoring barrier, and place it at the bottom of their deck. So barrier removal is really good. 3 or less barrier removal is not as good as, 4 or less, or 5 or less or whatnot, but 3 or less barrier removal it's still barrier removal. You're playing him for 4, so technically you're paying more than you need to, or than you would want to for that effect, and you're bouncing something, but anything that has barrier, like I think the if I'm not mistaken, the yellow slug, that's a 3-drop 20k barrier that prevents you from drawing. I think that's something that you could easily bounce and then just go ahead and continue with your strategy. And that card is very problematic because it just essentially stops you from drawing cards. So having an answer to that card is really good. But, this is just a generic, card. 15k blocker is not too bad. But he also has an activate main. For 1 blue energy, if your leader is mono blue and you have a blue skillless battle card with energy cost of 2 in play, you can play this card from your hand. So again, it's a printed 4 cost, but you can essentially play him for 1 if you meet the requirement. Now, I really do like this because it rewards you for leaning into the archetype. Obviously, most of the cards in Dragon Ball can be splashed in any deck if you want to build it that way. But if you're getting rewarded for leaning heavy into an archetype, I think the first example of that was probably the Gotenks deck that we got with like Grim Reaper and the fusion package and stuff like that. When you lean heavily into the archetype, you get rewarded. Now, obviously, Gotenks did lose a lot of steam, as the set came out and as it was played, but I still think there's merit and there's benefit for focusing on a specific archetype that does something very well. But it's nice to have the added bonus of being able to play cards if you just want to play them, right? So again, I like this trend. I like this trend of if you're playing X leader, you get to do stuff for cheaper. But if you still want to go ahead and play it with just good stuff, you can do it also. I think it's the best of both worlds. Now, probably my favorite card in the archetype is going to be this 2-drop Son Goku Dad to the Rescue. The artwork is gorgeous. I'm actually speechless just looking at this card. It's a 2-cost, 0-cost 5k combo, 10k battle card that says counterattack. If your leader card is a blue Son Gohan Childhood, negate the attack. Choose up to 1 of your blue skillless battle cards with an energy cost of 2 in your hand and play it. You can't activate the counter attack skill on copies of this card for the game. So you basically tap to, from what I'm reading, you tap to negate the attack. Then you play a blue skillless with energy cost of 2 from your hand. But he doesn't play himself, it doesn't look like. It says if your leader card is a blue Son Gohan Childhood, negate the attack. Then choose up to 1, so you don't have to, but you can. Energy cost of 2 in your hand, play it. You can't activate the counterattack skill on copies of this card for the game. Oh, so this is a one and done. This is a one and done like type card. It's very interesting in my opinion. So you pay 2 to negate the attack. He doesn't play himself, but he plays a 2-drop vanilla. So you play the Trunks from your hand. You can't activate him for the rest of the game. And then if your life is at 3 or less, as a permanent, you can activate this card's counter skill from your hand without paying its energy cost. So it's a free negate if you're at 3 or less that plays a 2-drop vanilla. I guess it's not too bad. I guess I have to look into whether it plays itself or not. I don't think it does. Just by reading it here, I don't think he would play himself. He would just probably negate for 2 and play the free vanilla. And if you're at 3 or less, you can free play it. It's a free play negate. Again, it's a card. It's got 0-cost 5k combo. So you could probably play multiples of these. But, because you can only resolve 1 per game, you might not want to max out on it. You could maybe like 2 at most, I would think. Because if you resolve 1 and you draw into another one, you could just use it as a 5k combo or charge it. But, yeah, I mean, unless I'm understanding this improperly, you can't activate the counterattack skill on copies of this card for the game. Yeah, from that type of wording, it just seems to me like it's just a one-and-done type thing. But, it's still a decent card nonetheless. You do get to negate an attack. You do get a free 20k out of it. And if you're at 3 or less, it is a free negate that gets you a free battle card. So you don't even have to tap any energy for it. So it's not too bad. Now, the boss monster of this archetype, which in my opinion, this card is bananas, is a 10-drop SS2 Gohan Astonishing Strike. He's a, like I said, 10 cost, 1 cost 10k combo. He's a 30,000 attacker. He's got Deflect. He's got Triple Strike. He's got Activate main for 4 blue. If your leader card is a blue Saiyan card, your opponent has 3 or more energy, and you choose one of your blue skillless battle cards with an energy cost of 2, you can play this card from your hand. If you played this card, place the chosen card in your energy. That is incredible, because once you're at, so if you go first, if you win the die roll and you go first, you can play this guy on your turn 4, and your opponent's only going to have 3 energy. So you play this guy on your turn 4. You swing with your vanilla, with your skillless. You tap 4 to play him. Then you take the skillless battle card and you put it in your energy. So it's like, okay, energy cost of 2, play this card from your hand. Play this chosen card in your energy. So it essentially, you tap 4 to play it. You ramp 1 because it doesn't say place it in rest mode. So you go from 4 to 5 with an energy up on your opponent's turn 3. And this guy is a deflect 30k triple striker, which is banana. That's freaking insane, because you just got an extra energy. So you're going from, let me just make sure I read that right. If your leader is a blue Saiyan, your opponent has 3 or more energy, and you choose one of your blue skill. Yeah, it's if you win the die roll, you could do this on your turn 4, and your opponent's got 3 energy. If they're smart, they have to leave something up for a counter, right? But if they tap out on 3 to do whatever they want to do, you play this on 4, you swing with your vanilla, you tap 4, play him, put your vanilla in energy. So now you went from 4 to 5 in that turn with an energy open and your boss monster on the board. That's sick. Activate main once per turn. Place 1 mono blue battle card from your energy in your drop area. Switch this card to active mode. Then choose all of your opponent's battle cards and place them at the bottom of their... Oh, that's disgusting. So that energy that you just ramped, you can now... You don't have to send the active one. You can send one of the tapped ones to board wipe and restand. So it's another 30k triple striker, but you don't have to do that. If you play him early enough and you don't need to board wipe your opponent, he can just sit there. And he's not unique. Why is this card not unique? Why is this card not unique? Are you kidding me? He's not you can't. It doesn't say anywhere that this card is insane. 4 mana, 4 energy, 30k triple strike with deflect. Frieza can't hit him because Frieza only hits like up to a 7 cost. So you're good there. He doesn't have barrier, so if your opponent has a removal spell for him, then obviously he's going to get removed. But I see no downside in playing this guy. Like, I don't. Like, you play him for 4, he gives you an extra energy, and then you can kill an energy to restand him, and then board wipe your opponent. Obviously, it wouldn't ignore barrier, but on turn 4, like, I mean, yeah, some decks are going pretty wide right now, and, you know, if there's problematic cards that you need to get rid of, obviously you want to board wipe, but this just seems incredibly broken to me. A 30k triple striker with deflect, so he's gonna hit the board, that board wipes you if you kill an energy, but essentially what I see the benefit of is this guy ramps you from 4 to 5 on your opponent's turn 3. So you're always going to be, and then you can play another one again. Oh, this is insane. This card is insane, Bandai. Like, Bandai, why didn't you make this guy unique? Like, this guy you should not be able to have more than one of these out on the board at a time. And it's just an SR, so yeah, it's an SR. It's not a secret rare. I don't see ultimate here. I don't see unique. I don't see that permanent where you can only control 1. Yeah, I mean, this card is sauce. You don't have to be a Gohan-specific deck to play this. You basically just have to be a Blue Saiyan leader that plays a skillless package. So, you know, I know Soul Striker decks have been playing the Janemba Xeno Chain. So that could be something to experiment with. But if you're not playing a skillless package, I would try to find a way to fit it into your deck if you're playing blue, because this card is just a house. I mean, this card is ridiculous. It just does too much for so little. Which, again, is what I'm saying. Like, they have a high printed cost. Like, he's on face value, he's a 10 cost battle card That's a 1 cost combo, 10k, you know, a 1 cost 10k combo, right? But if I'm playing this deck, I'm jamming 4 of these guys in my deck for the simple reason that he's so good on turn 4 that it mitigates drawing it and being dead. And the best part about this deck in specific is you can draw this guy early and charge it, and then with your leader skill, you can, you know, bounce him back to your hand. Like, there's just no downside in playing this guy. It's just ridiculous. God Sealing, all those counterplays can't hit him. Frieza can't hit him because its auto is only 7 or less, or 3 to 7, whatever it is. Yeah, you have to worry about a kill spell, but, you know, your opponent has to pay energy for that kill spell, you know? So if you have multiples of this guy, you just play another one next turn and you start the whole process all over again. This card seems incredibly broken. I could definitely see this card being a problem, especially with, like, good blue stuff decks, because it's not restricting you to a Gohan leader. It just says a Saiyan leader with a slight skillless package, which is not hard. You know, I could definitely see Soul Striker, you know, using this as a boss monster. If Baby wants to fit in some skillless cards in their deck, I can see that being a boss monster for Baby. Whatever can fit a skillless package, you know, like, there's so many cards that you could just fit in skillless packages, especially if you're just going to be playing like 4 vanillas just to get this guy out. I don't see an issue with it at all, but I can definitely see this guy being a problem if he can be played so generically, not only in Gohan, but in other good, you know, just blue leaders, you know, inherently. But I'm excited nonetheless for this archetype to be coming out in set 13. I was talking to a couple of my friends, you know, shout out to Graham and Hernan at my locals this weekend. I think set 13 is going to definitely be a set that you want to pick up, especially because I'm pretty sure it's the last set that's coming out in the Unison Warrior block. And then after that, we're getting a new block, which I think the rumor is like multicolor black cards for the new set or whatever. But I'm pretty sure set 13 is going to be the last set in the Unison Warrior block. If I'm wrong, let me know in the comments, but I'm pretty sure that's what it's going to be. So if you guys need to pre-order anything or whatever, just let me know. I can always contact Computer and Gaming Universe. You can check them down. I'll put the link in the description box below. You can, you know, call them up and pre-order whatever you want if you need to. I would definitely try and pick up set. If this archetype was just revealed today, right? So if this stuff is good, and they did reveal a Bojack leader, which is pretty decent too. But if this stuff is good, I can't wait to see what else they have in store, especially for my boy Future Gohan, which we're finally getting 13 sets into the game. We're finally getting a Future Gohan leader. So definitely expect me to be doing some reviews on that as well. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you excited for set 13? I know, like, Evolution Booster just came out or is just coming out, and we're already on to set 13. But, you know, Evolution Booster is a set all in its own. It's more of like a support set. Set 13 is a core set, so I'm really excited for that. So, like I said, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and please hit that notification bell so you can stay up to date with everything no counters, no combos. We really do appreciate the support, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Be there or be squared.